All right. Hey guys. Super quick market review. Moral of the story, we have potential weekly actionable signals to the downside that can trigger or re-trigger our quarterly signals. So most of the tickers in the market ended with 2 up red quarters last quarter. So we are looking for reconfirming signals to re-trigger or reconfirm the 2 up, 2 down quarter. So my little dream scenario is playing out on SPY, where I said that if we go 2 down, 2 up week this week, negating the quarterly trigger, that's fine. You can take it, but you have to be prepared to stop out because I didn't really think it was going to go anywhere. In my opinion, no way we were going up here. So we closed weak. We closed at the trigger. Not quite a shooter, but we gave back half of last week's gains. So what that means is we now finally, after like 5 weeks of down movement, we finally got some corrective activity, aka TTO, to re-trigger the quarter. So the quarter is the blue line or the turquoise line marked on my chart, which just happened 2 weeks ago because we closed on the lows last quarter. So if we can re-trigger the quarter and hit our weekly target, that is what I want to see, and then continue downside. QQQ is a different story because we never triggered the quarter in the first place. So, but that's okay because we can trigger it this week. So from the 2 down, 2 up originally, exhaustion reversal because we made new lows, so that puts us at downside exhaustion. So corrective activity is to be expected here. So downside profit taking should occur here, which we saw. Then we got our 2 down, 2 up weekly reversal. Took an extra week, but the Qs hit their target on the weekly. However, and what I mean by that is if you blend this candle, we finally made a 2 up. So we got out of that mother bar situation. So now we're looking to reverse. This is a shooter because we closed near the low 30% of the candle. So now this 2 up, 2 down week, if it hits both targets, will trigger the quarter. So we will take profit, partial profit at the quarterly target, but swing traders can hold on for longer if they like. So that's what we're looking to do pretty much for everything. So you want to find tickers that have a quarterly actionable signal set up with a weekly bearish actionable signal that can trigger or re-trigger the quarters. IWM, a bit of a different story. We have been trading inside this range all year. Actually, let's look at the month. It's just clearer. So from this swing high to this swing low, we have been trading completely inside the whole range the whole time. So since, it's been a year. We've been trading basically sideways for a year. And if you go to a 6-month chart, we are currently double inside. So if we break that level, which is hard to see, it's 167.46. We could really start to puke all the way down to here, 162.50. We are in force on the quarter, 2 up, 2 down, but we really need to hit this pivot and this pivot if we're going to see puking down to here. So with the way that the weekly is set up, we are set up to do that because we are a failed 2 up. So this is simply corrective activity, and you'll see this yearly open. That means that we are red on the year and everything under it. So that's corrective activity. It's a shooter. So the way that we're set up this week is we're set up for a 2 up, 2 down reversal to trigger this major pivot low, and then go after that pivot low. And then hopefully we can get all the way down here and out of these mommy issues, aka mother bar issues. But we really need to bust this low and see some aggressive selling. So that's kind of what we're looking at for IWM. Also, I wanted to mention we are about to get into the thick of earnings season. So yes, we have all these wonderful downside setups, but they could completely get screwed up by earnings. So you got to be mindful of that, especially with all like the tech earnings and everything. They're greatly going to affect all the indices. DIA closed a bit stronger than all of them, but the 2 down, 2 up week failed, could not hit its target. So again, you would want everything to the downside because the whole market looks to be ready for downside next week, which is going to be awesome because then the VIX will spike and we'll get some volatility, and that'll be nice. And as traders, we want volatility. Sorry about your 401ks. The dollar. So I just made a video earlier about levels of reclaim happening at exhaustion risk levels. So what had happened was many weeks ago, we made a new low. Boom, that puts us at downside exhaustion. We reclaimed the previous low, and we're going back through the range, which we did. We took out the previous pivot high, and we went up to the next target. Got a bit of a pullback, but it's set up for continuation up to the next target at, we'll call it 108. Major pivot target up there because it's an actual pivot. This is not a pivot. This is. So a green 2 down week, we'd be looking for continuation next week, and that kind of confirms the opposite position of the dollar in the market. So dollar up, market down. So that bodes well for our SPY weekly downside, right? VIX, like we said, so we triggered the quarter last week, went 2 down this week. We are set up for bullish upside, which again, inverse the market. So for the most part, so dollar and VIX inverse the market. Both are set up to confirm our bearish market outlook, but we have to stay in force on the week. Bitcoin, hold on just a moment. Month, week, day. I want to see fresh lows on Bitcoin. I'm going to make this big, and I'm viewing this as our broadening formation. So high, low, new high, new low, new high. I want to go and make a new low. And we have a daily actionable signal about to go in force right here. So we just had corrective activity. And we would like for Bitcoin to do that. And that would complete the broadening formation because we failed the monthly upside. We are reclaiming the previous range, this previous leg. So we should be seeing new lows. Let me get back. All right, so XLE, what happened? We went inside week and down. We hit our target. Boom, you're at downside exhaustion. You got a reversal off of that. Now you have an inside week, which if that triggers and continues through this little weekly pivot machine gun, we are set to make an outside month, which would put our target at 93.70. That's that. And your breading formation would look like kind of ugly because it's the same candle. Low, high, new low. Nope. Doesn't work that way. But lower lows, and we had higher highs. Oops. I'm moving too fast. I'm kind of in a hurry. Son of a... So it would look like this. Low, high. There we go. Low, high, new low. We'd be looking for a new high, which would be your outside month target. Gold has been crazy since, I guess, all this terrible war stuff. Almost impossible to play on a daily chart. Look at all these gaps. But we took out this pivot low, that target. If you're downside, we hit our target. That old target becomes new exhaustion, and that is the level of reclaim. And then if we go back through it, we're looking to take out the other side. So outside month magnitude, 181.12. But again, I don't know how you're going to get in this with all of these gaps. You got a gap here, a gap here, a gap here. Unless you're just buying and holding and hoping for the 181, I guess that's a strategy. Not mine, but do you? XLU hit an exhaustion level to the downside. Took out that pivot. It's not actually a pivot. Took out that target. And then what? Big outside bar. So what? Downside exhaustion. So not only did we sweep those lows, draw it for you. Not only did we take out fresh lows down there on the daily chart, we also took out this target low on the monthly chart. So green, full time frame continuity, boom, took out the mother bar. This one, I don't really have a strong bias on. I don't like the downside exhaustion, and I don't like upside. So utility sectors can do their own thing. XLPs, we went in, or 2 up, 2 down month a while back. We hit all of our downside targets. Our downside targets then become exhaustion risk. We have an inside week. This one, you could honestly play either way. This would be an exhaustion reversal with your inside week. So you could possibly take it to the upside. Target 1 would be about there. Target 2 would be there. And if you're trying to take the weekly setup, you have an inside day. So you could play the inside day to trigger the inside week. That's the domino effect trades. Or you could just as well play it to the downside. So this is one that, like I said, I don't have a ton of. You could play either way. Because back down would be into full time frame continuity. Back up would be an exhaustion reversal. So I tend to stay away from things like this. XLV, I would say, is just a choppy shop mess. We've been stuck inside since June of 22. Swing high, swing low, completely stuck inside of it. So that's major motherboard problems and nothing high probability in there. XLF, same story. We've been stuck since February. So no really high probability trades in here either. Also, XLB. What's this? Materials, who cares? But the 2 down, 2 up week did hit its target. So last week, that would have been the trigger. That would have been the target. But that puts you at exhaustion risk. That's where you're supposed to take profit. You're supposed to take profit there. But now we have a shooter and we have a level down here. So that could go back down to the lows. XLI. So a couple months back, 3 months back, we had all-time high exhaustion risk. We had a reversal. We are trying to continue that reversal with a weekly shooter. So you've got a whole bunch of stuff below if it wants to continue down, something like that. XLY, we hit exhaustion risk back here in July. Tested that basically level of reclaim again, failed it, fell back through, hit that target. Looks to be like it wants to continue lower. Let's look at the quarter. So did it trigger? So that week is just like SPY QQQ. Hold on. It can re-trigger the quarter. On an actual reversal. And then into pivot machine gun setup. Hold on. How do you do that? Alt. Second. Alt J. Whoops. I don't do this often, but I like it. So Alt J, Alt J, Alt J, Alt J, Alt J, Alt J. Whole bunch of pivots, right? So that could get aggressive. XLK, basically same exact setup as the Qs and SPY after coming off of all-time high exhaustion risk. There is your quarterly trigger. So if the 2 up, 2 down week hits its weekly target, that is also your quarterly trigger. So everything looks pretty prime for downside, just FYI. Let's see. So this kind of, let me get the monthly. Just continuation down, finally broke some sort of quarter. That was last quarter. It's just continuation down. I wouldn't be interested in more downside yet until we get corrective activity because it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of down. So before it continues down, I would like to see weekly corrective activity and then continue down to that low down there. But I'm really picky, but that's all right. XRT retail has also been sideways since over a year, since September of 22. This is what we call mommy issues because from this swing high to this swing low, we've traded completely inside there. And then if you look at the weekly, you've been straight down. I know some of these ended green, but every candle's high is a lower high. So that's what I say. That's what I mean when I say straight down. And we're ending the week on an inside shooter. So you certainly can take it. And then that would be like your ultimate target there. Well, ultimate target 1, mommy issues, ultimate target 2. So that is acceptable. SMH. So another good example of from this 2 up, 2 down week, our targets was this pivot low and this pivot low, once we hit those, our old targets become our level of reclaim or level of exhaustion, or areas where we expect, once we hit there, we expect profit taking to happen and corrective activity before, if we're going to continue down. So this is perfectly good, normal, healthy, to be expected. Not, I shouldn't say healthy. Perfectly normal for like strat world, right? Because we hit the downside targets. You had a double bottom, which we make fun of all the time. Double bottoms are made to be broken, which we broke them. Then again, profit taking, ending with a shooter on the week. And then our new target is going to become a new low. So yeah, that's all I got. So basically, back to the SPY, look for weekly bearish strat setups that can re-trigger your quarterly bearish strat setups. And reminder, it's earnings season. So you gotta be agile, gotta have your risk reward all laid out. And me personally, I prefer the domino setups. So I want something like an inside day on Monday. And then on Tuesday, I want an inside day and down. So a 2-1-2 down to trigger the week. And then continue all the way down, not in one day, but to the weekly target. And one other thing, if you go look at, this is NQ. So NQ perfectly hit its weekly target last week. That's exactly where it exhausted. We had a nice hourly reversal off of that level. Because when we're at upside exhaustion, we're looking for downside setups. So the only setup that presented itself was this candle right here. 2 up, boom, break that pattern, 2 down. We're going to take out this target. And then the bigger picture broadening formation, that target, which we did. And that's what I keep talking about and making videos about: high, low, new high, new low. So we knew we were to come down here, because if you go to a higher time frame, you're gonna find the outside bar. But the point I'm trying to make with this chart is NQ has unfinished business down here, and what I mean by that is this double bottom. So this low is $3 higher than that low. And what we always say all the time at Stat is double bottoms are made to be broken. So when that weekly goes in force, I fully expect that we would be back down here. But again, the best setups come sometimes at the worst time, and that being earnings season. So be careful, be cautious, look for daily actionable signals, look for 4-hour actionable signals. You don't have to be the first one into a weekly setup, because being the first one into a weekly setup is kind of entering at the lows on the day, and we don't really want to do that. I think the weekly, let me confirm. Yeah. But we could look for 4 hours. So we have an inside 4-hour on NQ. I don't know if it's going to be there come Monday morning, but you could take that trigger inside and down to get you into the weekly 2 up, 2 down. So that's what we do with the strat. We look for actionable signals to trigger other actionable signals, or actionable signals to reconfirm higher time frame actionable signals. Either way, we're always on the right side of price action because of time frame continuity and actionable signals and our broadening formations. So I gotta go, having dinner with my daughter, and I hope you all have a great trading week, and we will see you around. Bye.